Hello, welcome to this week's Devlog. I'm going to be discussing the progress I've made on developing Codoo, a word guessing game with ChatGPT, the challenges faced while working on the game. This aims to be both informative and motivation for myself to keep going. So let's dive into what happened this week. So first thing is the UI that I have made last week. I decided it was not very good. The modern UI was great asset with buttons that I did use in the screen. However, when I have to construct the pop-ups, the profile screen, it just wasn't very good. I was not very good at it. I immediately knew that I can't finish this on my own with the current knowledge in UI UX, and I'm not gonna be able to learn that in a week or even a month. So the easiest thing for me to do at this stage is to go to the Unity asset store and look for the one that's already built, has all the pieces that I need. So here's a sample. Went to Unity asset store to find the right UI package, and luckily I found this company that has a bunch of UI, and immediately found Cyberpunk GUI was the one I needed. I also bought a few other ones just to try. And also the Cyberpunk is based on red color. It's a little bit more aggressive, so we went to this Canva website. It's great for design. And I picked out the cyan color neon pop to be like the theme of the game. This is the major dominant color, accent, and maybe warning. I didn't actually use this color. So I basically had to start from scratch on the UI, throw away what I've done last week, and start from scratch. So here are the results from the original modern UI to the Cyberpunk UI. And this is what I came up with in 2 hours. And this is what I made with the new UI. This is where someone who's good at it could be really helpful to the project. If I ever hire someone to my project, it will be, the first person will be UI UX, and then marketing, and then a second coder maybe. Person team would be perfect start. Anyway, so that's a major switch to the project, but I got it done. So here's a sample: the profile screen, the game screen, history, and settings. So all the major screens are built, and also I built several pop-ups. Here's an AI selection. Here's a profile change. Actually, I can just click on this. So if I click on here, the buttons work on this page now. So if I select this AI, the frame changes to yellow. If I edit the profile, change the name, it all works. It saves to the JSON file in the back, and it carries to the game. If I hit start game, the new picture, new name, and the AI that I have selected shows here. So switching from the previous UI to the new UI package was surprisingly easy on the coding side. And I have to thank CodeMonkey of teaching me how to write clean and maintainable code. My codes are not that clean, but I have separated the function from the game session to actually the creation of the messages, and that's what made switching easy on the code side. I didn't have to touch any of the game function code. All I had to change in the code was the message creator that instantiate the prefab messages on the game screen. I'll show you right here. So when the message gets populated one at a time, let's play. So when these messages pop up, it's already in a layout theme, and the message creator is in charge of instantiating these elements. The content, oh, there's an error. I have to find out what the word not found in the message. All right, maybe there. So sometimes there are errors and you have to restart, I think. All right, let's try again. There's an error. I'll have to look into that. Now it works. Sometimes the API that viable. So all these messages are so I'm only passing two variables to the message creator, and that's the role and the message content. And the message creator is all I have to modify to make the switch. I basically created new prefabs and assign it to the same game object here. Let me move it over. I added a bunch more logics to make sure I use the right prefab, and also scrolling down, I have added some formatting on the fonts. Right here is also where I use the game save data to pull the right avatar on to instantiate the right icon as the game goes. So this is all I had to update to make the switch from the previous UI to the new UI to spawn the new prefab on the screen. When I had to put this together in Unity UI, the layout component is very helpful to put a screen like this together. So these elements are horizontal layout, and then this is vertical layout, the right spacing, the right size, and also content fitter to show a scroll bar. All of that are important things to know when you put together a UI. And that's also when I realized the UI toolkit is a much better option for future projects, because consider if you want to change the color scheme in UI toolkit, all you have to do is change a few parameters in CSS, and you can try out different color scheme relatively easy. With Unity UI, you could change the prefab to see a different color scheme, but I'm talking about the whole screen. The prefab is just individual elements, but with UI Toolkit, I believe I can make more global changes much easier than the UI elements here, where I have to change things individually or with prefabs. So this screen is not functional yet. I still have to figure out how to go through the save file and populate these. Same for the settings. All I've got done is the game screen, profile, these buttons, these bars that pulls a game save, a few pop-ups that are functional. So still a lot of work if we go to the progress. So So unlockable function is not done. Setting and history screen, I already knew those are big tasks. Oops. Settings. So it'll be, so I have to extend this more like this. Oh, so hopefully that doesn't take an extra week. I'm still targeting the end of the month, so I know for a fact that the sound and analytics will take a week, and also publishing, creating all the assets for publishing on Asset Store takes decent amount of time. So that's all for this week. Made a lot of progress, still a lot left to do. Completing the setting and history screen, coding up the unlockables. We'll work on that next week. The challenges I face in making UI really taught me that why having a person doing UI is super important, and building this UI really kicked my ass. I had no idea how hard it was to build it from scratch, even with Asset Store stuff that I just supposedly plug and play. But the look and feel, the color selection, even consistency in font size, that's not my specialty. I could really use some professional help on the UI UX side. I don't enjoy figuring out what font to use. I couldn't even name more than 3 fonts. I don't think I have even used consistent font sizes. So yes, UI, very hard. Learned a lot. I hope whoever's watching can help me on UI. If UI is your passion and you enjoy doing that stuff, good for you. Help me on the future projects. All right, thanks for watching. See you next week.